110 million views. Not in a week, not in 3 days, in less than 48 hours. One video, 2 minutes long, no movie budget, no studio, just a comedian, a blonde wig, some prosthetics, and the most controversial decision of his career. And right now, the entire internet is split in half because of it. Some people are calling it pure genius, the funniest thing they've seen all year. Others are calling it disgusting, disrespectful, crossing a line that should never be crossed. And in the middle of all of this, the woman at the center of it has said absolutely nothing. This is the story of Druski, Erika Kirk, and the skit that broke the internet in March 2026. And trust me, by the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly why this hits so differently than anything else you've seen online this year. Stay with me. Before we get into the skit, you need to understand who Druski is, because that context changes everything. His real name is Drew Desbordes, 31 years old, no formal acting training, no Hollywood connection starting out, just a black guy from Atlanta who figured out that the internet rewards commitment, full, unhinged, no half measures commitment to a character. Complex magazine named him the #1 funniest person on the internet right now. Rolling Stone ranked him the #2 most influential creator of 2025, BuzzFeed. And he got there the hard way, one skit at a time. You want to know how committed this man is to his craft? His mega-church pastor skit, where he played a prosperity gospel preacher, pulled over 250 million views across social media. BuzzFeed, 250 million. For a skit, in January, he released a mega-church parody where he played a pastor at the fictional Collect and Praise Ministries. He zip-lined onto a church stage in designer clothes, demanded $4 million in tithes, and counted cash backstage. Military.com. And before that, in September 2024, he appeared at a NASCAR event in Talladega wearing white skin makeup, a beard, and American flag tattoos as part of a character he described as a guy who is just proud to be American. Madame Noir, he walked through that entire event. People thought he was real. This is who Druski is. He doesn't do funny videos. He becomes the character so completely that reality starts to blur. And now he's done it again. But this time, the character he chose to become is someone the entire country already has very strong feelings about. Now here's the part of the story that makes everything else make sense. To understand why this skit landed the way it did, you have to understand who Erika Kirk is and what she's been through. Erika Kirk is the widow of conservative activist and co-founder of Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk. He was shot and killed while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University in September 2025. The griot, let that sink in. Charlie Kirk, one of the most prominent conservative voices in America, was assassinated on a college campus 6 months ago. And in the aftermath of that, his wife, Erika, didn't disappear. She stepped into one of the most visible positions in American conservative politics by running Turning Point USA. She appeared at press conferences alongside Sarah Huckabee Sanders, made public statements, and endorsed J.D. Vance for the 2028 presidential election. Attack of the fanboy. At the 2026 State of the Union, she sat in the House chamber as President Trump's guest. When Trump paid tribute to his great friend Charlie and called him a martyr, the camera cut to Erika. Attendees chanted, "Charlie, Charlie," as lawmakers stood. Viewers on social media scrutinized her expressions in real time, with some calling her grief performative and others pushing back on the criticism. Military.com. So before Druski ever posted a single frame of this skit, Erika Kirk was already one of the most watched, most debated, most dissected figures on the internet. Every appearance, every press conference, every Bible verse, the internet was already watching her every move. Since Charlie Kirk was killed in September, his widow has been at the center of a new internet moment with striking regularity. A speech, a meme, a parody, a podcast segment. Each one builds on the last. Each one reaches a bigger audience than the one before. Military.com. And then Druski walked into that conversation. On Wednesday evening, March 25th, 2026, Druski posted a sketch to X, captioned, "How Conservative Women in America Act." Military.com. He never said her name. Not once. He didn't have to. In the sketch, Druski appears in a blonde wig, blue contact lenses, and a white suit, adopting the persona of Kirk during a staged press interaction. The bit opens with a stylized sequence set in a memorial before shifting into a mock press conference, where the character responds to questions about the ongoing conflict with Iran. Newsweek Druski is then shown in a mock press conference about the Iran war, singing in a car, conducting a press appearance while holding a Bible, and attending a reformer Pilates class. The griot, in his character's speech, he tells a crowd that America needs to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America, calling them the boys that we care about in this country. Behind him, a guard reacts visibly when the line lands. Military.com, Druski notably paraphrases a real video of Kirk's in which she talks about saying prayers, staring directly into the camera as she does so. Madame Noir. And then, the moment that made the whole internet stop, someone posted a still from the video and asked Grok, the AI chatbot built into X, who the person in the image was. Grok responded in a reply viewed over 700,000 times, "That's Erica Kirk." The griot not Druskiest as Erica Kirk. Just, "That's Erica Kirk." The disguise was that convincing. The AI couldn't tell the difference, and the internet lost its mind. Within hours, the numbers were staggering. In less than 24 hours, it already had more than 3.4 million likes on Instagram. Click to Houston, the video crossed 110 million views, BBT, and it was trending in multiple countries simultaneously. But the views weren't even the biggest story. The reactions were. On one side, pure celebration. One social media user replied in a post viewed over 500,000 times, trolling Erica Kirk and all conservative white women, "You might be the GOAT." The griot, another commenter, said, "You gotta be in the next White Chicks movie." Click to Houston, and someone wrote, "This might be Druski's most diabolical skit yet." Click to Houston. On the other side, fury. Senator Ted Cruz posted 2 words on X, "beneath contempt." Click to Houston. Conservative media personality John Root wrote, in a post viewed over 75,000 times, "This is too far, man. You were completely disrespectful during NFL honors, and now you're making fun of Erica Kirk, whose husband was brutally assassinated. This ain't it." The griot, one social media user, wrote in a reply viewed over 130,000 times, "Of all conservative women in America, why her? This woman is still grieving." The griot. And then, just when you thought it couldn't get more chaotic, a rumor dropped. A writer on X shared a now-deleted post claiming that Erica Kirk had sent a cease and desist letter and was gearing up to sue Druski. That post was viewed nearly 1 million times before it was deleted. NBC New York screenshots kept circulating. People were convinced it was real. The claim is false. A representative for Druski confirmed to Newsweek that any claim that a cease and desist was issued to Druski is absolutely false. NBC New York. But that's how fast this thing was moving. The internet was creating its own story on top of the story, faster than anyone could keep up. Now here's where it gets genuinely complicated. And this is what I actually want to talk about, because this isn't just about one skit. Erica Kirk is not an ordinary private citizen sheltering from a cruel world in a black veil. Since her husband was fatally shot at Utah Valley University last September, she has stepped into one of the most visible positions in American conservative politics. She appeared at press conferences, made public statements, and courted the spotlight and wielded it. Attack of the Fanboy Druski's sketch notably doesn't mock her grief. It pokes at her public persona, the press-ready version of conservative womanhood she has projected. He never even names her. The skit concerns conservative women in America, not grieving right-wing widows of America. Attack of the Fanboy. That distinction between the public figure and the grieving widow is exactly where the internet is divided. And honestly, both sides have a point, because one person says she chose to step into politics. She gave press conferences. She endorsed a presidential candidate. She is a public figure, and public figures have always been subject to satire. That's not new. That's American. And another person says 6 months. It's been 6 months since her husband was murdered in front of an audience. And we're making skits about her? This discourse is nothing new. The creators of South Park and The Onion have faced accusations of going too far in the pursuit of satire for decades. Druski has not publicly responded to the backlash, and the video remains live across his platforms. Clicked Houston, that silence? That's very deliberate. because Druski knows something that a lot of people forget about controversy. Engagement is engagement. And right now, every person arguing about this skit is making it bigger. So where does this leave us? Whether the backlash will impact Druski's approach moving forward remains to be seen. Despite the divide, engagement around the skit continues to climb, underscoring a reality of today's content landscape. Controversy often fuels visibility. Click to Houston and Erica Kirk. She has not publicly responded to the sketch. The griot, not one word, not a post, not a statement. And in 2026, where everyone has a take and silence is its own kind of power, that silence might be the loudest thing she could say. What Druski has done, again, is hold up a mirror to America. And America, as always, cannot stop looking at itself. One skit, 110 million views. A country arguing about comedy, grief, race, politics, and what's fair game in 2026. And the man at the center of it still hasn't said a word. That's the Druski way. I'll see you in the next one.